radio station. You can watch us too. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. And we are only a few weeks away from the 82nd National Folk Festival, which is coming to Jackson, Mississippi. And joining us today is Miss Blaine and Miss Thabi to tell us a little bit more and maybe share the lineup. Welcome, y'all.
Good afternoon. How are you?
It's good to have you here. And Blaine, we missed out on you last time Thabi was with us because of some technical difficulties, but we got you now. So let's start with you. How did all this sort of from your perspective or side come together for Jackson, Mississippi to be able to host the 82nd National Folk Festival?
Sure. So the National Council for the Traditional Arts is the nation's oldest folk and traditional arts organization. We have been producing the National Folk Festival in communities around the country since 1934. We've taken the festival into about 30 different communities over that time, and it's a process where we send out a request for proposals. Cities submit applications, and we review those and narrow it down to a list of finalists. And when we were doing the search back in the spring of 2023, the city of Jackson reached out, expressed interest, and basically, along every step of the way, checked all the boxes, submitted a really strong proposal, and we came down for a site visit almost exactly 2 years ago. And we're just blown away about the enthusiasm in the community for an event like this, about the real thirst and need for something like this in downtown Jackson. A lot of people told us about Jubilee Jam and how there had not been a festival in a music festival in downtown Jackson for pushing 15 to 20 years. And so you could just really tell everybody was at the table in the community and really excited. And then from our perspective, given the work we do, the festival, it's been, like I said, in 30 communities around the country, but it's never been in the Deep South. And Mississippi is really stands out among all 50 states, really doesn't have a rival in terms of what it has contributed to American music and culture. It's the home of the blues. Jimmy Rogers is from there, Elvis Presley. You know, we've also got Marty Stewart opening up his new Congress of Country Music in Philadelphia, and the list just goes on and on. So that really great history and rich artistic heritage made it just a really exciting place to go, and we could tell there was a real desire for something like this in Jackson. So it seemed like the perfect opportunity for the festival.
Thabi, I feel like the last time you were here on Good Things, we had kind of just heard that Jackson was going to be the location, or maybe it had just been released. I'm sure it had been in the works for a little bit longer than that. And now we're coming up to like 2.5 weeks away until the big event. Yeah. So what's been going on in between the last time we talked? I'm sure lots of things, but exciting things too that have finally are coming out. So what's been going on?
Yeah, lots of planning, continuing, working with our local partners has been happening to get everything in place for the festival. We've been really working hard to recruit volunteers. It takes about 800 to 1,000 volunteers to run all the systems of the festival. So we're still actively looking for some volunteers to come join the team for the weekend. But between the last time we talked and now, just crossing our T's and dotting our I's and really getting the word out there about what folks can expect when they come out to the event. I'm really excited about a number of things, from the dance tent that we'll have to the Mississippi Folklife area that has a theme of legacies of empowerment, and we'll be celebrating We'll be celebrating the 100th birthdays of B.B. King and Medgar Evers and their legacies. So I'm excited to see what that looks like, to hear the music, to taste the food, but just really trying to get the word out there to all the communities, to the schools. That Friday before the festival, we'll have some artists going out to JPS to do some performances for the artists and school shows. So there's just been lots of planning and logistics to get everything in place for the weekend happening.
And I know, too, getting those names of headlining the different stages that will be out and about for the National Folk Festival. So, Thabi, who is the exciting artist that will be coming? I know some are very Mississippi-focused. I've seen a few of the names. Others, I think Mississippians will be excited to see come to our state. So, who can you share at the moment, should I say it that way, Thabi?
Oh yeah, sure. And Blaine, please feel free to jump in. I'm excited. I mean, and some of the recognizable names. I think one of the things to mention is what this festival does an amazing job of is putting in front of an audience new artists to discover. And also those familiar names. So I'm excited, of course, about Bobby Rush, who will be a part of the festival, and the Sonic Boom. And then we'll have some other folks, blues artists on the Mississippi Folk Life stage area. I'm excited about EU and Sugar Bear, featuring Sugar Bear. They're a go-go band out of D.C. that's coming down to be a part of the festival. But there are a number of artists. Blaine, who else would you add to that?
Yeah, no, thank you. And definitely everybody you mentioned. And I kind of add to that. First of all, we have announced the full schedule of the full site map, all the performances. We announced that last week. If you go to nationalfolkfestival.com, you can see the full schedule, all the artists, the site map, stage locations in downtown Jackson. The festival is a celebration of the finest traditional artists in the country. There are going to be some really world-class performers coming. We're going to have Edwin Perez, a top-notch salsa performer out of New York City. Eileen Ivers, one of the best Irish fiddlers in the country. Daylon Bradley, probably the premier female vocalist in bluegrass music today. A world-class flamenco ensemble. John Primer, a blues singer from Chicago who's originally from Madison, Mississippi, making his homecoming, coming back. A really wonderful Korean percussion group. The whole idea is you come and you come maybe to see a Bobby Rush or the Sonic Boom or EU, groups and you go away impressed by artists you've never heard of. So it's really a chance for people to explore and learn about some of the really amazing artists out in the country. But also a chance to celebrate some of the best artists in the state of Mississippi through the folk life area. So it's a mix of national artists and also some of the best folks from right here in your backyard in Mississippi.
Thabi, when you are out and about and sort of promoting this and talking to the locals here in Mississippi, do we get what folk is? Because I feel like on one hand, when you say all the names, yes. Yeah. On the other hand, when I hear Mr. Blaine say some of the others, I'm like, well, I wouldn't put that in folk, but that sounds really cool. And so it's a big smorgasbord of cool entertainment, I think, and that seems hard to promote. I'll give you that, Thabi.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that, to touch on what you just said, a lot of people do want to put folk in a box, and when they think of it, they think of, banjos and fiddles and bluegrass. But folk is literally everything that Blaine just mentioned. It's blues, it's gospel, it's Irish music, it's honky-tonk, it's hip-hop. It's literally things that are passed down through families, those traditions that are passed down through families, things that you don't necessarily learn in school, falls under this umbrella of folk. And so what this festival does is it kind of explodes that idea and really gives you a solid understanding of what we mean when we say the word folk and what is presented at the festival. Blaine, what else would you add to that? Blaine always has great things to say, so I'm always pulling him in to give the people all the good information.
Yeah, no, what we want to do is kind of expand how people think of it. I mean, Thabi was right on. What we're talking about are the traditions of all the American people. When we're talking about folk and traditional music, it belongs to all of us. It's what we grew up listening to in our churches, in our communities, in our families, what's sort of passed down and part of the life of where we grew up, whether you're talking regionally or, again, through your church community or work community. And so it's a very broad look, and we want people to understand how varied traditional culture can be. We're going to have a hip-hop showcase. There's going to be skateboarding. There's going to be quilting. There's going to be a motorcycle club from Indianola, Mississippi that's really important for community gatherings. So it's really getting people to understand just how broad this is. This is not sort of like your grandparents' folk music. This is a very forward-thinking look at how music is a part of all of our lives. It belongs to all of us. And so it's a really exciting chance to showcase that. I mean, for sort of even a little pop culture touch, one of the artists we're going to have performing is Wiley in the Wild West, Wiley Gustafson. Now, everybody's going to think they haven't heard of Wiley, but almost everybody listening to this has heard Wiley before. He's a champion yodeler, and he's the voice you hear on all the Yahoo commercials.
What? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool, yeah. And I feel like you're right. I mean, folk is one of those things that you can kind of like, oh, that's not, but everything it just seems like cool entertainment, something for the whole family, something to go and escape and enjoy and be open-minded to something new and cool and creative. I think creative is the word that keeps coming back to my mind when I think of folk, like they're true artists in that respect. So where do we go, either Blaine or Thabi, to sort of go ahead and see the lineup, think about the days that we want to come or come out and how to do that? Where's all the information?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to the website. It has everything that Blaine mentioned earlier, the event schedule, all of the artists in our lineup. On the actual days of the festival, we'll have what's called a pocket guide, and that's available right now on the festival website, where you'll be able to see the lineups and how they match up against each other across the festival site, so that you can plan out your visit and, decide where you want to be on those days. I mean, the other thing to mention is the artists that the national artists that are coming in will play multiple times across the 3 days of the festival. So if you miss them on Friday, you might be able to catch them on Saturday or Sunday. So that's something also cool about how this festival is programmed. But all of that information is available on nationalfolkfestival.com. But again, all of the artists, all of the we didn't talk any about the food and marketplace, but all that information about the dining experience.
Well, we will do that next here. Also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. You can watch us too. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Continuing our conversation with Blaine and Thabi. They were at the 82nd National Folk Festival. It is going to be here in Mississippi. First time it's ever been in the Deep South. We want to make sure you know of all the good things that are coming our way. Blaine, I get tickled when I think about the 82nd, and then it's going to be on the weekend of November 8th. So my daddy actually turns 82, this weekend, and then always 2 weeks later is my birthday. I'm 40 years behind him. So I'm like, you guys are like, you just checking boxes. Your dad a big party. Throwing my dad and me a big party. So I just totally appreciate. And then it's wild to me to think it's been around as long as he has, or maybe that he's been around as long as it has, whatever it may be. But and that it's never been in the Deep South. And I think that's something we want to make sure people understand and are able to take advantage of it. But Thabi, you guys were talking a lot about maybe the musical lineups, and yes, it's definitely a musical festival for folks to come out and enjoy. But there will be a lot of other pieces to this folk festival. If maybe music isn't your singular driver to get you out and get you interested in it, you may be interested in some of the other pieces. So what else will be going on the weekend of November 6th, 7th, and 8th, or 7th, 8th, and 9th?
Yeah, so I was talking, we'll have it's a family-friendly event, so we'll have a whole area dedicated to families where kids will be able to do make and take activities. And I was mentioning that we'll have, near all the stages, we don't want anyone to have to walk too far for food or drink. So we'll have food courts at near each of our stages, 4 food courts, and we'll have beer available for sale, as well as a Mississippi artisan marketplace. But there's something literally for everyone outside of the music performances. You can come and just take in. We'll have street performers that will be kind of placed throughout the site, where you'll be able to walk past them and see them doing some sort of dance or participatory activity. Blaine, what else would you mention people can expect to see at the festival?
Sure. There's parades. There's one of our most popular venues is going to be the Dance Pavilion, which is right there at the Welcome to Jackson mural at State and Pearl Street in downtown Jackson. Like Thabi was saying, there's a family area with participatory activities. We like to say there's something for everyone. So we're going to have signature Southern foods. It's a national event, but we want it to showcase the best of the host region. So signature Southern foods. We're going to have an arts marketplace that reflects Mississippi culture as well. So no matter who you are, you're going to come out and you're going to find something for you. And most importantly, and I'm not sure if we've had a chance to say this yet or not, but you can never say it too much, it's all free. This entire festival is free to the public. It's family-friendly. So you come out with your friends, your neighbors, and there's something for you no matter who you are. And we're still looking for volunteers. It's a big chance for the community to step up and shine, so people can also go to the website, nationalfolkfestival.com, and sign up to volunteer as well.
Blaine, in terms of like tourism, with it being around 82 years, that really does mean that folks enjoy it, right? Things wouldn't last if people didn't come out and support it. And for it to make it 8 decades, I mean, that means that people are getting behind what you guys are providing or what the National Folk Festival is all about. For that, do people travel for this is what I'm trying to say. Will there be people from surrounding states or maybe outside of the Deep South, since it's never been here, that will make their trip for the first time to Mississippi for this festival?
Yes, definitely, and I think it will especially help that next year is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. People are going to be out there, and they're going to be looking for stories of American excellence, American music, American culture, and Mississippi is known as the birthplace of America's music. People already come down here to make sort of pilgrimages to see blues sites or go to Elvis's house or Faulkner's house. So it's a big part of Mississippi, and it's a chance this festival is a great opportunity not just for Jackson, but for the entire state of Mississippi. And I think it's going to become and help really put Jackson on the map as a place people can come to see music and live music and other events, drawing from Louisiana and Arkansas and Tennessee and Alabama. Really, I think hopefully attracting folks out of that region and then also thinking beyond that nationally. And again, I think next year for the 250th anniversary of the country, that's going to be a great opportunity. And we've seen this with the festival in other locations, that it provides a big spike for tourism, cultural heritage tourism. And what we're hoping and what we're trying to do is bring people into the state, and once they're in Jackson, to get out and go see all the state it has to offer. It's a really special and exciting opportunity to shine a light on Mississippi, which has such a great history of literature, food, art, music, culture, that this should be a really great opportunity for the entire state.
Well, Thabi, that's a great, too, reason for people in the community, at least that live within central Mississippi, to have the opportunity to volunteer and show, put our best face forward in that respect. When you think about volunteering, the first thing I always think about is, well, what am I going to be doing? Am I going to be taking tickets? Am I going to be keeping people, out of behind the scenes, or behind the stage? You don't have to go in detail, but if those that may be thinking, well, I might be willing to volunteer, but what would I be doing? What would volunteers for this do?
Yeah, there's a range of jobs, whether you want to be front-facing or behind the scenes. You could be a part of our bucket brigade. This festival is free, so we need ways to raise money. And so one of the ways we raise money is we have a whole team of people that go out during performances or at the beginning or end with buckets where people are able to donate funds. So we need people for our bucket brigade. We need people to help with volunteer check-in, even backstage. We need help supporting our artists, transportation throughout the site because they're performing multiple times in a day. There's so many systems that it takes to run a festival of this scope, but there's literally something that if you're interested in learning about large event planning, large-scale event planning, large-scale event planning, there's some way to get yourself involved. But there's so many systems that it takes. There's something, if you're interested in getting involved, there's probably something for you and a place for us to plug you in.
And why not enjoy a day of volunteer and service while hearing some really cool music and meeting some really neat people? I think that would be icing on the cake for that. Blaine, the website. Can people just plan their entire trip here to Jackson through the website for the National Folk Festival? Does it give them everything that they need to know, would want to know, and always updating?
Yes, go there for the schedule, go there for artists. We've used the Plan Your Visit page to highlight places to stay. Not just in downtown Jackson, but in the surrounding bedroom communities. We're really hoping this is a chance for folks in Ridgeland and Madison, et cetera, to come into downtown Jackson, but also to see benefits out in their communities, the economic impacts out there. So we're highlighting places to stay throughout the metro region. We're going to be updating it throughout leading up to the festival with more about public shuttles, bringing you to downtown Jackson, making sure all of our information on where to park is there. You can sign up to volunteer there. You can read about the family area, all the different food and marketplace vendors. The full schedule is there. The map is there. So everything is there. One-stop shopping. We're also very active on social media, posting different events, keeping news going. In fact, Tuesday we announced all the food and marketplace vendors, and today we announced everything from the family area. We have a great group of partners, orgs in the state, and a lot of involvement from the Mississippi Children's Museum there. So there's so much information about this festival. It is a big event. I don't think people realize how big this event really is, and but you can go and you can kind of soak all that up at nationalfolkfestival.com.
Blaine, have you ever been to Mississippi? I know you're coming, but have you ever been prior to November?
Oh, funny story. Thabi's heard this too much. I grew up in Mississippi some. I lived in Vicksburg as a kid. We left and came back, and I lived in Oxford for a couple of years also. And I got my start as a folklorist. I would come down from Arkansas, where my family moved, and interview blues singers up in North Mississippi. So Mississippi had a huge impact on my life. So it's exciting to be back.
Well, that's really cool. And then it completely comes full circle for you to be able to help bring the National Folk Festival this way. And yeah, I think it's my birthday weekend, so it has to be a great weekend. And I really appreciate y'all putting on a festival just for me.
That's why I didn't tell you when you asked at first why the festival came. That's the truth, though. We knew that all along.
It's for me and my dad. I mean, you know what? It's all about that. No, I think this is great. It's also hopefully going to be great weather, perfect timing here in Mississippi. We should actually have some fall-like weather. So encouraging everybody, from what I'm getting from you, Blaine, most importantly, is don't underestimate this festival. It's not just something small. It's big. It's a big deal, too, that it chose Mississippi, and we should get out and support it. So best of luck in this last push for you guys to get the word out, but I'm sure Mississippi will turn out for it. And Tabby, to those volunteers, I know those are very important. So I appreciate both your time.
Thank you.
All righty. There you go. Pretty cool, pretty cool. 82 years it took for it to get to here, Mississippi. But I know we will show up and show out. We love a good time. We love lots of music. Anytime anyone thinks about bluegrass or the blues or folk music, we're the ones that can appreciate that and come out and enjoy it. All right, well, stick with us. We got some more good headlines for you coming up next.